So you have all kinds of people coming out of the woodworks telling you, you should sell insurance. It'll be fun. You can make passive income. It's so easy. You can make $100,000 in your first year. You can make $250,000 your first year. You can make $1 million within a couple of years. What's true? What's realistic? And is this even a good industry for you to be in or not? This video is sponsored by none other than Lead Heroes, you guys. Lead Heroes has got you covered when it comes to telemarketed leads and virtual staffing. On the lead side, whether it be Medicare supplement leads, final expense leads, turning 65 leads, they just got something for everybody. They can also actually have you plug in with one of their virtual staff members on the staffing side to where you can pay by the hour for one of their trained and very well vetted staff members to help you out in your business in a virtual assistant format. Just because you watch this video, they're going to give you 10% off any order you make on their website. Link to the site can be found down in the description, so go ahead and check them out. Okay, guys, in this video, I'm going to break down the truths and realistic expectations for getting into the insurance business and starting an insurance career as an insurance agent. But also, is it really a good career for you to jump into? Let's just jump right into it. The best way I can explain getting into the insurance business and acting as an independent insurance agent is you are self-employed, right? And that's always the dream for most people, right? You're self-employed. You are in a position where you kind of control your own destiny. You make your own schedule and you determine how much money you're going to make. And it all sounds good and dandy, right? Recruiters sell this dream all the time. And I'm not saying that it's not a dream that's worth being sold, but depending on your statistic, anywhere between 90 to 95% of insurance agents, that people that get their license or people that go the route of being an independent insurance agent are out of the business within 2 to 3 years, right? Those are the realistic stats in it. So a very, very small percentage of people, probably anywhere between 5 to 10% of people actually are successful as insurance agents. And I feel like there's a lot of reasons for that. And I think unrealistic expectations are a big part of that, right? A lot of MLM insurance companies or insurance agencies that kind of bring people in and they teach them to recruit, and and your mentor is typically somebody that's been in the business just a couple of months, or they're just not really that successful in and of themselves. And that's all a problem, right? That's all a big problem in my opinion of the industry, and it has a lot to do with why agents don't make it. However, there's some great things about this industry as well. The steps to becoming an independent insurance agent are as follows. So I'd say the main barrier to entry is you have to obtain an insurance license from your state, right? So let's say you live in Colorado and you want to sell insurance as a P&C agent, short for property and casualty, which means you sell car insurance, homeowners insurance, right? Renters insurance, just things like that. You have to obtain a P&C license from the state of Colorado, which involves taking a test with the state of Colorado. Now, a lot of times in a lot of instances, you have to go into a facility, you have to pass a test while you're being monitored, while there's a camera on you to make sure that you're not cheating. Now, there's a few exceptions to that, and some different kind of programs that have been available with COVID. Since COVID took place, there was less and less people going into facilities, but that's typically historically how it's been done. And so you have to pass a test, right? You have to pay a fee, you have to get background checked, you have to get fingerprinted, if you will. And the reason for this is because insurance being a financial product, if it's not cared for and conducted the right way, it can be manipulated and abused by certain individuals that maybe don't have the right ethics. So they want to make sure that there's no criminals, there's no shady or slimy people getting into the insurance industry. So there is that barrier to entry, and you have to be able to pass a test, right? If you can't pass a test, you're not going to be able to sell insurance. And a lot of different kinds of insurance products actually require you to keep up on certifications, especially in the Medicare industry, which is our industry. That's something that you have to do. So you have to obtain that insurance license. And then once you have that insurance license, then you have to determine kind of how you want to do business. And really the way you want to look at it is a business, right? You're not going to have anybody that's going to be there to tell you what to do every step of the way. Now, if you do contract under somebody else, like in the industry, we'll call it an upline, right? Someone you contract underneath, they can provide you guidance and maybe some advice on kind of how you can move forward and kind of developing your career and your business, but there's a million ways to be successful. Now, what are the positives of becoming an insurance agent and pursuing a career as an independent insurance agent? Well, number one, the insurance business, a lot of different insurance products do pay you monthly, right? They pay you on a residual income basis. Now, some pay you more of that than others. Not all insurance products work that way necessarily. Some pay you a large amount up front, some and very little later on. Some pay you just a little bit, but it pays you a little bit for as long as the policy's on the books, right? And so the insurance business is the oldest kind of form of passive income and residual income that people can obtain, right? So usually in a lot of different insurance product types, Medicare is an example of this, health insurance is an example of this, property and casualty is an example of this, certain types of life insurance is an example of this. Yeah, and I'd say a lot of different types of life insurance is an example of this, although the passive income part of it is much lower than those other things that I just mentioned. But as long as you have a client on the books and you're servicing their policy, then from that point, you're going to be paid on a month-to-month basis, or maybe even one time a year, just depending on kind of what the product is, and you can expect that income to kind of come in. Now, the challenges to that, people are not going to keep their business with you or keep their policies with you if you're not doing a good job for them, keeping in touch with them, building the relationship with them, and giving them a reason to stay with you. There's a lot of other people that are doing exactly what you're doing, and on top of that, there's the actual insurance companies that you get contracted with to represent that are trying to get business in and of themselves without you or without independent agents in the picture, right? They're trying to get business just directly to them. And so you have people all the time trying to take your business, replace your business, and there's no guarantee that someone's going to stay with you if you don't do your job, right? So there's kind of two different things that end up transpiring. People always talk about like laptop lifestyle, right? Or eventually you're just sitting on the beach and money's coming in. Well, not necessarily. There's two things you end up having to do. If you end up being a one-man show and just trying to keep your expenses as little as possible, you end up becoming a slave to your business at some point. And this is where a lot of people get to where they never kind of break over a barrier, right? They end up making 200 grand a year, 300 grand a year, maybe even 400 grand a year, but they never get above that because they never actually go forward with actually building a business. And they become a slave to their business, right? People, all their clients and customers have their cell phone number, their phone's ringing off the hook on weekends and evenings and all those things. And that is where it can kind of get very, very tricky. And in order to kind of prevent that from happening, you have to continue the business growing to stop that from happening, right? And I guess you could say that you don't necessarily have to do that, but you might keep your clients on the books and you might keep them working with you and keeping their policies for 3, 4, maybe 5 years instead of 10 years, 15 years, maybe 20 years. And you don't get the same kind of referral business and that kind of thing. So it's an ever-growing thing that you have to continuously grow in order for you to be able to grow it to where you can have people that you bring on, you staff the business to have you help run it on a day-to-day basis, right? So people always kind of paint that picture and they don't really bring that part of it into the equation, right? The goal is that you want to build a business that can continue to grow, that can be generational, that can really, take care of you and your family for decades. But in order to do that, it involves giving people a reason to want to do business with you, because if you don't do that, they're going to leave and they're not going to want to stay with you. The other thing that's very important to keep in mind is when you get into the business of being an independent insurance agent, your first 12 to 24 months are probably going to be the hardest 12 to 24 months of your entire life, because nobody knows who you are. You don't have anything built up into your pipeline, into your sales pipeline, if you will, and you really have to fight and claw and work from scratch at that point. Also, you're working on commission, right? You don't have any clients, you don't have any book of business, and you're working on commission, so you have zero funds coming in. So sometimes you're kind of strapped for cash. You're feeling it at the end of the month every month. And on top of all that, you don't necessarily always have a lot of money to market your business. So you have to get out there and hustle and grind. A lot of people have to do this. Otherwise, they never actually get their foot off the ground. This is why so many people fail. It's like I said, there's competition out there in all different types of insurance. This is to be expected, and this is a realistic expectation. I think if you can push through, you can build that business, kind of get a foundation built underneath you, then you can kind of propel your business forward. And from that point, the insurance business is an amazing, fantastic, lucrative career, because you build a business where it's just continuously growing, and it is a passive income business where you get paid commission every single month. If you do a good job for your clients, you provide them value, and they decide to keep working with you on a long-term basis. So that's a very realistic, very straightforward and clear expectation of working as an insurance agent. What do you guys think? Does it sound like a good career to you? It's been incredibly good to me. It's loved me a long time. But I'd love to kind of hear your thoughts about it. Comment them down below. I'd love to have a dialogue with you. Are you new to insurance? Have you been doing it a while? Or are you thinking about getting into it right now? If you found this video helpful and it answered your questions and you felt it refreshing, that it wasn't just a big sales pitch, do me a favor, smash the like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps me help more people like you that need to see this content. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Hit the notification bell. Join the notification squad so you're notified when we upload. And until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. Here's to your success and your abundance. Thanks, guys.